The following programming is sponsored by Fatima Peters. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Veasley Media Group.
Hello, Philadelphia. This is Fatima Peters with a live radio show. We are here every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with WWDB AM on 860 in your radio dial. And today we have a treat for you. We have musician, educator, curator, Gerald Veasley. Yeah. He's a live and creative professional and clearly a multifaceted person. Gerald, thank you. I have known you for so long. This is so good to have you here.
Thank you, Fatima. I'm so glad to be here on your show. And
oh, my gosh.
Knowing each other for a long time.
I know. Should we say how long?
No.
Well, for decades.
Ooh, that long? Wow, fantastic.
That long.
Yeah.
I came to Philly in 88.
Oh, wow.
And then 89, I was doing end of 88 to 89, I was doing all the gigs for Mina's, the babies, Nicole was so tiny.
Yes, that's right. I was before they were even born.
Do you remember? Yeah, see?
And you were just a force. I can remember those
I miss
wonderful
that,
times. Yeah.
I miss that. That was amazing. I actually been creating a dancing program that perhaps we can actually teach people.
Really?
Yeah, like a really samba for all ages. It would be awesome.
No, people need that.
Yeah, just live, like alegria, joy, alegria.
I remember when you would dance and we would get into the bachacadas, those exciting rhythms. They would go on and on and on.
And I would stay.
And you would stay, and just that energy, and then it was infectious. Because the band would get more and more excited, and the people who didn't necessarily know about samba dancing, but they would do it. They would do it. They were moving, and it all came from your fire.
Oh, wow, And I love that, by the way. It was an exchange of energy that I miss so much, because I remember the basses were my steps. They were the steps that I looked forward to. Like dung 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 dung.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes,
so you were
I could
along
hear
with the bass. Oh,
that's it.
Okay,
that's it.
Well, I should have brought my bass today.
That would. So I wanted to explore your world.
Yep.
You have been an incredible leader in Philadelphia in the music business. I have followed you, on the social media and stuff. And we're going to talk a little bit about your boot camp and about Inscript Jazz at South, and also the community work with Jazz Philadelphia. So how long you been in Philly?
So I'm a lifelong Philadelphian.
Oh, you were born here?
Yes, I was born here.
I was born here. Dang.
And so I've had so many great people who inspired me through the years who were here. People like Grover Washington Jr.
Oh, you! Oh my God!
That's right.
Pablo was with
Pablo and I. We got closer during those Grover days. Yep. So Grover was one of my mentors. John Blake, Odine Pope. So many musicians who inspired me.
Are you a Temple too? Where did you go?
I did not. I went to University of Pennsylvania.
Excuse me, professor.
But I didn't have aspirations to be a professional musician. And
you too? Oh my gosh.
I did not.
So many musicians did not.
Yeah, I didn't.
And they end up.
I just loved music, but I thought it was something you did for fun. And then when my father passed away, it was a time, and we talked a little bit off camera about, or offline, about emotional wellness and emotional management. Yes. Well, I was one of those young men who didn't know how to handle my father dying.
Really?
And I went into sort of a grieving process that I didn't understand. I was more numb than anything else.
Wow.
And the only thing that rescued me was the music.
There you go. We talk about that all the time. Music is healing. And I talk to a lot of musicians, and they tell me that when they are in that zone, in that music zone, everything is healed. Everything is great. Absolutely. Wow.
And I didn't understand until that moment how important music was.
See that?
How it can have, as you just said, those healing properties.
Wow.
Because sometimes it can speak to you in a way that there are no words that really can explain what you're feeling.
True.
But the intensity, the vibrations, the feeling, the intention of the artist, all of that can really help. So I decided during that time, if I can be at the receiving end of that, and it feels this way. What would it feel like if I was on the
Offering and the giving.
offering?
Yes.
And that's when I decided to become a professional musician.
Wow.
Because
what
of
a
that.
beautiful story. Yeah. What a beautiful story. So my other business is Emotion Management School, and I created that for that reason.
Wow.
To really help musicians and artists to find themselves. Because what happens outside of you should not declare who you are.
100%.
You are who you are,
Yeah.
and then you are able to navigate not only your emotions, but others. Yeah. And so it took me a while. I started in 2016, and I went on into study with all the best of the best, and I was lucky. I would meet, there's a lot of people that talk about the power of intention.
Yes.
And I had the intention to become the best of me, but I wanted to learn with the best of this business. So you know what happened? I actually started meeting all those people in strange places.
Isn't
like,
that something?
Starbucks with Daniel Goldman.
Wow.
Something. And then it's just meeting. And then Bernie Dorman, right here in New Jersey, in Cherry Hill at an event, he just looked at me, says, how can you better best? And I turned around and was the nephew of Napoleon Hill. And the fathers of, like Bob Proctor, I met with Bernie, and so many others, Dr. Augusto Curi. I was at one shopping center. Yeah, all those giants in this field came to me in the times that I needed. So here you are in this amazing time telling me this story and tell our listeners this story. Yeah. Music is healing.
It is healing, and it's just fascinating also to hear your story unfold, how we are often provided exactly what we need.
True.
If we just pay attention.
Very true.
But I love this word of intention.
Yes.
And for artists, so many times we've been told to not expect the best and to settle for less. There's a starving artist syndrome. And I remember when I was first performing, people would say, first thing they would ask, "Are you what do you do?" I'm a musician. Well, what do you really do?
Listen to that. See,
right. So a way of marginalizing what an artist does in society, and so artists have to get out of accepting that and understand that what we do, number one, can be serious as a vocation in terms of its necessity as a business.
That's it.
But also the healing properties, and also the fact that we do for society what it cannot do for itself.
Thank you. Yeah. That's it. We offer the cure, which comes in music, and believe me, this heals so many people. And I know that you're putting programs together for business for musicians, right?
Yeah. So my work with Jazz Philadelphia, which is a nonprofit here in the city, we came together to help build a stronger ecosystem for musicians, and also for the folks who are aligned with musicians, educators, students, nonprofits that serve our community. And one of the programs that we came up with is called the Core Cooperative. And that's where we train emerging artists of all ages who are in that phase of where they're really trying to take that next step in their careers. And we, at the very minimum, we provide them professional development.
Wow.
So it's a 10-week program where we bring in speakers. I'd love to have you come in
I would love to do that, yes.
The curriculum was co-designed by my good friend who I know you know, Orlando Haddad.
Orlando Haddad. Ciao to you and Patricia, yes.
Yes, they're wonderful. And Orlando had a deep background in arts management with his degree, his master's degree over at Drexel. But we decided to offer some training for artists so they can first develop a business mindset.
That's it. That's it.
That's the key.
Mindset is the whole point, Gerald.
Yep.
Most people doubt themselves, and you probably know my story. Won't talk right now, but I was homeless. I lived on the streets of not Philadelphia, but São Paulo, and mindset saved me. 18 years, and now I have homes that I can choose where to live and which country to live because the mindset makes it. You get it, and a kid that could not study, here I am, speaking 3 languages. So the same thing you offer to this Philadelphia community so much, and I see you working at Script, Jazz. Let's talk about a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, Unscripted Jazz is a program that Roxanne and I started, a series rather, at South, which is our favorite jazz club and restaurant
so intimate.
here in
It's so
Philadelphia.
fun.
And from the day that they opened for business, we've been working with the owners, the Bynum brothers, presenting music every week. We've presented something like 600 nights of music by now.
Wow.
And the idea was to present contemporary jazz artists, but give them the ability to present music that's outside of their normal repertoire in addition to their hits. Because we find that these contemporary jazz artists, they have interest in other things, in traditional jazz, in Latin music, in neo-soul.
Correct.
And so Unscripted gives them the ability to do whatever they like to do for an audience that is really very voracious in terms of their appetite. I think sometimes musicians can underestimate how an audience, if you bring your best,
Yes.
in terms of your excitement, your energy, your excellence, they'll accept it. So now, how many years later, going on 9 years, the program is still going strong.
I think I was there with Bobby Lyle and you and Tammy and Pablo.
Yeah.
What a great night. Amazing. And Bob Lyle was, he's 80, right?
He's
and
80
years old. And he was like, damn, the piano.
He
and
was
going
tearing it
on
up.
and getting so excited because of the feedback of the energy of the audience and back and forth. Those songs, I mean, he called some ones that were not on.
It was
right?
totally unscripted.
Totally unscripted.
Yep. Yeah,
And it was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. He's a brilliant musician. His vocabulary is he's an encyclopedic knowledge of the music, but he's also very flexible. So he can do something that's totally traditional stride piano, then turn around and do something.
We were
just,
lucky to
hip and
have
funky,
you guys there. So for the young artists that, like you said, most of the time we're told not to go that way because you won't make money. And I talk a lot about this. This program is called Alive Radio for inspire and empower people to create an amazing life for themselves as well. So you hear, because I admire you, I think your life is incredible. You have gone from like not knowing what to do, right?
Yeah.
To all this that you're doing.
It's a blessing.
And to be honest with you, I'll doubt that you know what tomorrow is going to be like. So you just like unscriptedly just go creatively with life.
I embrace it.
Isn't it true?
That's a great observation. One thing that I've learned more than anything is to be open.
Yeah.
And to not
opportunities.
not to limit myself, because you never know. Like you just said so well, you never know what the next day might bring. And
no, I tell people all the time, this is part of my personality. People always ask me, and you can probably say yes to that too. I'm always reinventing myself. Every single day is a new day. So I guess because of my background, of my humble background, gosh, I didn't know what it was coming next day, and I had to make it happen. So today in life, I do have a lot, and God bless, America for that.
Yeah.
But how about the young artists that the parents are saying, hey, you won't make money? What would you say to them, Gerald? How can you empower them to follow their dreams and look for the next step in their professional, career?
Sure. I think the first thing to do is acknowledge that we live in a society where there's a lot of fear. There's the fear of, will I be able to take care of myself? Will I be able to make a living? But I think one of the things we have to do just as human beings is just start off with a position of gratitude and belief in yourself.
Yes.
And then for a young artist, learn as much as you can. Get all the tools you can.
Yep.
There are lots of programs now. We talked about ours, but there are many programs that you can get where you can learn about the business of music. But beyond the business of music, it starts with that belief in yourself.
True.
And you would need that no matter what field you go into.
Yes, I agree with you.
You would have to believe in yourself.
I agree with that.
My daughter, who is also an entrepreneur, I told her, you have 2 jobs every day as an entrepreneur. The first is whatever you're doing, whatever you're making. The second is believing in yourself and encouraging yourself.
So true.
That's almost a full-time job.
It is.
But you have to be willing to do that. If you're not willing to do that, first of all, you have to question yourself why, because you have been placed, talent has been placed inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you withhold it from us,
wow,
we won't have it.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. We're going to take this little time to thank our sponsors. We'll come back and we're going to talk about the author of your own life. How about that, Gerald?
Love it.
Game Time is a sports soak therapy used by professional athletes, health and wellness providers worldwide to aid in the recovery process unlike any other product in today's healthcare industry. Recover faster. Use before and after activities or workouts to prevent injury. We work out extremely hard to stay fit, so protect your body. Stay healthy with Game Time recovery products. Order yours today. Go to the website GameTimeSportsProducts.com.
Did you always have the desire to sing? Don't fall prey to limiting beliefs. Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Master vocal technician John Nicholas Peters is the one to break down barriers and help you achieve your ultimate vocal potential.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon 'gainst self-slaughter.
Students say he's the most brilliant vocal coach ever. You'll learn more in a short time than prior years of training.
Do you know, old boy, I think you'd make a simply wonderful Hamlet.
Well, I could be wrong, but this poorly hollowed-out tree looks like something the mighty wizard Gelvon might just call home.
Well, it can fool many, but it looks as though it can't fool you.
Visit www.vocaltechnician.com or call 215-487-2517 and start the journey to your greatest dream.
Unlock the potential of emotional intelligence in your workplace. Discover how understanding emotions can boost team integration, dynamics, motivation, and behavior, positively impacting sales and company culture. We offer affordable training with self-awareness and self-management practical tools for a harmonious work environment. Elevate your team's performance today. Visit emotionmanagementschool.com or call 267-671-0773.
Hello, Philadelphia. We are back, a second half of the show, and we're talking with my friend Gerald Veasley. Oh, my Lord. He has so many tricks in his bag. So he is a musician, educator, curator, creative professional of all sorts of music. And we've been talking about being the author of your own life. That's why you're here, Gerald. We're talking about how to make it, how to really create it out of nothing. You know, I wrote a book that's called Making Something Out of Nothing. Because the fact is that many people are doubting, like we were talking in the first half of the show. They have the desire. They want to be a musician. They have the passion. But then they can't have the drive because someone else is telling them, by the way, you won't make money. Oh, by the way, how are you going to sustain yourself? And then that doubt eats up the passion and slows down the process of creating a great musician. Like you said, we have talents in our body, in our mind, in our soul that needs to be expressed, right? And we are left waiting for that person to actually gift us with that. Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about that a little more? Because you were talking about your daughter, but I'm sure you have seen a lot of students with that wanted to express themselves with the gift, but are fearful of doing so.
Yeah. The fear is, I think, a key thing that stops us as young musicians or people, artists of all types. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that we can do to combat that is to not let other people's fears change our course.
I agree with that. Wow.
And so I think when if someone were to come to me today and say, you can't do this or do that, I would really have compassion for that person because they would be speaking out of their own fear.
Very true.
And their own sense of limitation.
Their own experience.
And I think it's important for artists of all kinds to recognize that, number one, the value that they have, and to understand that the value that they have is not dependent upon other people's opinion of what they do.
Very true,
that
not living.
There's an intrinsic value that you're bringing. And so to honor that, you bring all of the energy that you can to do what you've decided to do and commit to it.
Yes.
And don't let other people's fears determine who you are. I love this phrase, being the author of your own life.
Yeah, that's the course that I give, the number one course. I have like about 16 of them that I give at the school, but the first one is that, being the author of your own life. And I learned that with my mentor, Dr. Augusto Cury, a Brazilian psychiatrist, writer, and teacher. And if you cannot author your own life, your emotions are authoring that. So meaning that if you're having fear, the fear are limiting you. Chaos or anything that's going wrong in your life should not determine who you are. Instead, who are you being in that situation?
100%.
Right?
I think the pandemic, which was just a very difficult experience that we thankfully
for everyone.
But I think for artists, it showed us something because it called into question who we are. Are you a musician if you're not able to go out and perform, if you're not able to do the thing that you do?
I haven't thought about that.
And so I think this is something that musicians had to grapple with. One of my mentors said, well, it's a time for musicians to be silent. And to come inside and really understand who they are as a creative person. That is a chance for us to develop a deeper sense of who we are. And so I think it starts with that. So in terms of how we're able to identify who we are, we have to think about ourselves as the human, what we bring as human beings.
True.
And not attach it to money.
Things.
Opinions.
Right.
Opinions.
Observation, approval.
Approval.
Yes.
Because you're answering to something that's higher.
Very true.
If you've been giving something, you have a responsibility to cultivate it and to share it.
Yes.
And so, but it does require courage.
Very true. Yes, courage. Yeah. You have to look at what you have and where you're at in the present time. I always say, your mind will show you everything you have done. But it will not show your future. Your future is hidden in your heart that you need to express in the now, because what you do now is your future tomorrow. So I always bring that, because I live my now as I never had that time to do. So meaning that every day I die. Because that's it.
Yeah.
That's the meaning of life.
That's right. In this moment.
Yes,
we're sitting 4 feet from each other.
Yes. And you know me know me. How long you know me for that long? Did I ever not being like this? I'm always like that.
That's right. But this moment is so special. It will never be created again.
No.
It never happened before.
No.
And so as artists, we have to appreciate those moments.
Yes.
And when I say artists, not just the people who are doing it professionally, but everyone who has a creative spirit, that you use whatever time you're given.
Yes, it is
in
so
this
true.
experience, because this experience, what we call life here, will end.
This is it.
It will end.
Yes.
Whatever you believe that something happens later, but this particular experience is unique. And I love what you're saying about the now.
It's the now.
And to be able to experience, one of the things that bothers me the most.
What?
Is when tell me if you relate to this.
Yeah.
You go to a restaurant with a friend.
Yes.
And you're looking at the menu and you decide what you're going to order.
Yes.
And meanwhile, that person talks about another restaurant.
I
or another
know.
meal. Another meal.
It's true. I've been in that situation.
Right.
And you go, how about this food?
How about this? So this is, and it invites us to think about the experience that we're having now.
Very true.
And to be grateful. So as a performer,
very true.
I think about the people I'm performing with. When I'm on stage with Pablo, for example, our dear friend, I don't think about the other times that I played with other people, but that will never happen again.
Correct.
So you approach your life and your art and this experience with a sense of gratitude and living the now.
And you're giving your all.
And giving your all in that moment.
That's it. And I talk, I'm known for miracles, right? So I make things happen out of nothing. This is my gift. Whoever knows me, I have done this forever. But it's not something that I can say proudly says, oh, it's mine. It's not. It's a gift that I have curated for so long and just got good, meaning that I give my all in the now, and then God gives me everything else. How about that?
That's exactly how it works.
Yes.
We do our part and he does his part.
Yes.
It's important for us not to get it mixed up where we try to do his part.
I know, for God's sake, right?
Right.
So, I would like to give you a website. So, can you tell us your website link so we can find you?
Absolutely. We have a website, GeraldVeasley.com.
Yes.
Where you'll find about the Bass Boot Camp.
Yes.
And you'll find out about where I'm appearing, both here in South and on
Yes.
tour. And the nonprofit is Jazz Philadelphia, which you can reach at jazzphiladelphia.org.
Yes.
Find me on Instagram or Facebook.
Instagram, people.
At Gerald
Yes.
just Gerald Veasley. And one of the things I'm most proud of that's happened recently is I've been chosen to be the chair for the Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance.
Wow.
That's a new position that I'm
Congrats.
taking.
Fantastic.
So it's exciting because a lot of the things and the beliefs that I have about the importance of the arts
Yes.
and the significance of arts and culture in this city, I get
So
to now
beautiful.
practice and work along.
And you're the right
professionals.
person for this. Fantastic.
I get to work alongside a lot of
Yes.
smart, committed people, and under the leadership of Patty Aiden.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking to change some of the nature of how we appreciate and support arts here in our city.
Fantastic. Listeners, we have been talking with Gerald Veasley. Thank you for your presence. I enjoy very much to talk about life and joyful things. Please count on me. I'll be always available. We wanted to give, space for music to flow in Philly and give life to many that are in need. That are not feeling their greatest right now. And we just donate in our heart and being heavily in love with not only with Philly, but with our humanity.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for what you're doing and your generous spirit.
Thank you. Now we're going to shake Philly
with
a little bass, or a little jazz, a little samba, a little everything. So thank you, our listeners, our sponsors. Until next time.